Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. No Terrence this week. He's apparently out...
coughing on people.
Yeah, just spreading the Rona around. For some reason, Terrence thinks life is back to normal. He said he was going to head down to the ocean where he gets to hang out with all his white friends that he has, that he tries not to tell you guys about. Yeah, they're just going to party and drink White Claw all weekend. It's weird. Terrence loves White Claw, guys.
I have no idea what White Claw is.
Terrence loves it.
Because it's the word white is in it, I assume that white people drink it.
They do, in fact. Or as Andy posted the other day, there are no laws when you're drinking the claws. Yeah, that's right. Terrence loves White Claw. It's a true story. All right, so we are back. Small docket this week, but we do have some things to talk about. So we'll just jump right in. Checked out this week. Micah, you watched all of this. I only watched the first episode. But the new Jeffrey Epstein Filthy Rich documentary series on Netflix.
Yeah, this is a pretty good docu-series. It's based off of the book by James Patterson, the Alex Cross guy.
Oh, really?
And yeah.
Okay.
And
another personal favorite of Terrence's, but go ahead.
And it doesn't really touch on like a lot of new stuff, right? Like it is, but what it does focus on, which I think is very good, is that it focuses on the victims.
Right. It does.
You get testimonials from victims throughout the entire 4 episodes. And you get like insight into this. This dude's a monster, man.
Yeah, he's somehow he's worse than I thought, which is pretty bad considering what I thought of him.
Yeah, man. Like this is like if someone would have told me about this guy, I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, he's a Bond villain in a way.
Right. Like short of taking over the world. Right. And at least Bond villains aren't pedophiles.
Right.
Like this dude is, you get a real sense of how narcissistic and just kind of evil this guy is, man. Like he's got like he's like a more evil Lex Luthor, right? Like he's got his female assistant, he's got his own Mercy Graves, and that woman needs to go to prison. She really does, and she would scout, young girls and promise them everything. And look, I mean, I hate to make everything about race.
Go ahead,
but I mean, I find it difficult to believe that non-white people, non-white girls would fall for this. I'm not saying that they wouldn't. I just find it difficult to buy.
I wouldn't even.
We don't like, especially like some of these girls were poor and stuff like that. Like the classic, victim, right? Like they come from broken homes or abusive homes. They're poor. They live in Florida. They have.
I'm sorry. That's
they have fucked up family lives, and they're perfect victims. If you just dangle a little bit of money, promise them that they, will come out of this life, and all you got to do is give me a massage or whatever when I need it.
Yeah, I was like, yo, come on, man.
Like I'm not buying it, man. And
okay.
I'm not here to victim shame either, by the way. Like I get it, right? Like you're in dire straits and you're trying to do whatever you can to get out. I'm not victim shaming. It's just, like this dude's a fucking monster.
Okay, so here's the thing. I wouldn't necessarily take the angle of whether or not the victims, like, would they fall for it if they were women of color. I wouldn't necessarily say that. But what I would say is, look, I'm not going to pretend like they're not black pedophiles. Of course there are. Like, that's stupid. Like, that's a stupid argument, right? But the level at which this guy played, right? Like the people he had access to, like Prince Andrew and Trump and Bill Clinton and just like all of these major people, and was like apparently moving money for some of these people, which I have my own personal theories as to how that worked. That could not be accomplished by someone like a person of color in this world. Like it couldn't. So like,
No.
it's like he has a level of white, like an insane level of white privilege, obviously, but it also allowed him to be like, that privilege allowed him to be shielded, to allow him to move in these circles. Like it's insane. Like, no, I think of the richest black person you could think of. If Oprah Winfrey, you know, I don't want to like throw people who are not pedophiles into this conversation, but like just for the sake of experiment, like Oprah Winfrey's really rich, right? If Oprah Winfrey was a pedophile, if she tried it, they'd be like, "Yo, Oprah Winfrey's a pedophile," and it'd be a wrap. Like she would not be able to operate in that world, right, doing what he did. So there is that element of it. There's also the element of like, he is kind of like a Bond villain. Like he had a private island, and then like these multiple places that he lived that were all like, it's just like glamorous, crazy nice places. And then this guy was doing like the worst type of shit there. Like it was just unreal.
He had what the documentary calls pedophile pyramid schemes. And he would get one girl, make him, you know, rape her. He would rape her. And then basically like, oh, well, I mean, if you don't want to do it again, you know, you got to bring me a couple more. And the one
that's fucking horrendous.
It's so fucking. And you know what's really messed up, right? Like you know how comic book villains, like Batman throws the Joker in jail, but the Joker always gets out. Like Superman will arrest Lex Luthor, but Lex Luthor always manages to get out.
Right.
Like that's what this guy did, right? Like he has so many connections, and his money fucking talked, man. And no matter what, they would get him out. And when they have clips of him being deposed, and the guy doing the deposition, he's trying to get under his skin, right? He's trying to get under Epstein's skin. Like at one point he's like, so is it true that you have an egg-shaped penis? And you know, he's trying to, you know, and then he goes, he says, one of the victims says that you have, and he describes the way his penis looks and how it looks small at the top but big at the bottom like an egg. And
okay, that's kind of funny.
Like he's trying everything he can to break him. And you could see like he's like, my lawyer has advised me that I should exercise my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment. And that's all he would say, right? Like, like he knows not to fuck up.
Yeah.
And like then later on,
that's why I don't believe he killed himself. That's insane to me.
No.
Hell no, dude. Hell no.
Then you get to like his legal counsel, right? Like he was represented.
Oh, Alan Dershowitz?
Alan Dershowitz.
That guy's also a pedophile. Get out of here.
I could never, ever be a defense attorney.
I know one.
Because he's and I know you know one, and I know you describe the mentality that they have or that they have to have. Alan Dershowitz in this documentary says it to a T, right? He's like, well, it's my job to convince the jury that this is not my job to find the facts.
No, nigga, that's not your job.
Nope. His job is to bamboozle people.
Yeah, like legitimately bamboozle people. That's true.
And it's funny you said that he's a pedophile, right? They're interviewing him in the documentary, and one of the victims, I can't remember her name. I think it's something Roberts. I'll call her Miss Roberts, right? Dershowitz is like, I'm not a pedophile. I dare you. I challenge her to come on this television program and say that I had sex with her at an underage and that I'm a pedophile and I am not a pedophile. Immediately smash cut to Ms. Roberts. Alan Dershowitz fucked me and raped me and he's a fucking pedophile. Like, she called his ass out by name. Like,
how dare you? Yeah, no, how dare I? I'm right here, motherfucker. Like, see, that's a classic like lawyer move, right? Like, yeah, because you're scared I'm gonna sue you. She was like, I'm not scared. The fuck I'm scared about? This is the truth.
Fuck you, yo.
Fuck you.
What's the name of that prince? That
Prince Andrew?
Prince Andrew?
Yo, guilty, mad guilty.
They play the interview of him being interviewed, and I mean, you
can
tell this
there
dude
yet.
has never been questioned about anything his entire life, right? Because
I hate these people so much, dude. Oh, with the fire of 1,000 suns, I hate all of these people.
Yeah, God. Man, I mean, there's so, like his story has so many fucking holes, and it's just like, well, wait a minute, you literally just said in the previous sentence that you never met the girl. Here's a picture of you with the girl at 17 years old. Oops. And he's like, nope, that's not me.
That's not me.
That's not me. I don't know where you got that. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he hit them with the shaggy. It wasn't me. Like. Yes, it might have been you. Yeah, it's, one of the craziest things about the whole Epstein thing is they still don't know how he made his money.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was interested in. I wondered if they would, they didn't really go into it. They didn't go into it at all, actually.
But you know what's weird about that though? That is a level of white privilege. How the fuck are you a billionaire and we have no idea how you made $1 billion?
He transferred all his funds to his brother, right? So that, the victims couldn't, it would be harder for the victims to get it because fuck the rape victims. And apparently, and they show you a list of all of his assets. Nigga, I ain't never seen so many fucking numbers in my entire life.
Oh, that dude was like loaded.
They were like, he's got like $571 million in cash, just on hand. Cash, not assets, not none of that shit.
Nigga, that's
cash.
Nigga, that's boogaloo money. I'm out. They coming? Peace. Gone. That's what that money is. Nobody. Who is he? Floyd Mayweather? Yeah, you don't need cash like that. That's insane. I just keep $50,000 cash in an ATM. Like, that's crazy.
In a checking.
Right. In my checking account, you idiot. That nigga's never read a sentence on interest. but yeah, that's I gotta go money. That's I gotta go money. Make me disappear money. That's all that is.
Yeah.
That's all
it's very interesting. And then they touch a little bit on the, him quote unquote killing himself and it's one last, that was his very last fuck you to the victims, right? Because they don't get to face their, the person that has treated them like garbage. And, look, I think he's alive and I think he's hiding at a different island.
Oh, you think he's alive? Oh, that's a bull. That's a pretty conspiracy laden thing.
I know, and I hate being a conspiracy theorist, but I'm also an incredible pessimist.
Yes, you are.
I think that dude is fucking alive, and he's just like hiding out somewhere.
That's interesting.
And this ain't like Tupac is dead, but he ain't really dead. No, Tupac is dead, right?
No, he did.
That nigga dead. This motherfucker has so much money. I think he can pull that Machiavellian shit off.
Interesting. I hadn't thought about that as a theory.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope he is dead.
I hope you're very wrong.
Because he's a monster, man.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, again, he had $570 million in cash. But I do think liquid. That's crazy, dude. I barely got $500 liquid, let alone $500.
Come up with $500 cash money.
I'd be like, hold on a second. Yo, let me move the way my check-ins and savings is set up. Like, nah, you gotta hold up a second. That's crazy to me. That's absolutely nuts. Yeah, I've watched one episode, and yeah, it's mostly mostly things I already knew. Like I never saw a lot of pictures of like the places that he owned, which were crazy.
Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And that scumbag never deserved any of it. He was just a horrible, horrible person. But yeah, I definitely intend on watching the rest of it. The thing I said to you before we started that I'm going to watch this weekend, starting tomorrow, and I'm very excited for, is I have finally, after many, many years, convinced my wife to watch Hannibal. So we're gonna start watching it this weekend because it's now on Netflix.
Oh, I saw the first season. I really enjoyed the first season. But I can't remember what day it came on, and it was like I can't, So I'll try to. I'm gonna do a couple things. I'm gonna watch this Showtime show starring Don Cheadle about the stock market.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Black Monday.
Yep, Black Monday. Mm-hmm.
And
I heard that was good.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good. I really like Don Cheadle.
That's an easy answer.
I'm gonna watch the MCU movies again, but I'm going to watch them in chronological order instead of release date order.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
So Captain America, Captain Marvel, Iron Man 1, 2, Hulk, and so on.
Yeah, just
to kind of see what it feels like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I need to do that rewatch at some point. I haven't because I don't have that kind of time.
I've never watched Endgame.
Nope.
From start to finish again.
Nope, I haven't.
I've seen that fight.
Yeah, the fight's amazing.
A couple times, but I've never watched the actual 3-hour movie.
Yeah, because it's fucking 3 hours.
Yeah, because it's 3 hours. And that's not something that I just kind of have.
3 hours to do what? Sleep? That's about it.
3 solid hours.
Right. Let me turn off everything else and sit down and watch a 3-hour movie. That is not a thing. In my house? No.
No,
absolutely not.
When I'm supposed to be working, maybe.
Right. Exactly. I am going to. I was planning on trying to do it this week. I will put it on my list for this coming week. I'm going to start watching Doom Patrol. It's on HBO Max.
It's on HBO.
I went to sit and watch it yesterday on my Roku. Then I remembered that I don't have HBO Max through Roku because stupid. So I'll have to watch it on my laptop. But yeah, I'm gonna start watching Doom Patrol because people say it's good, and it's not a CW show. So I'm actually kind of interested to see it. So we'll see.
Personal property, cash. $56,547,773.
That's stupid. That's a stupid amount of money.
And that's stupid cash. Money. Everything else is more. Oh, Jesus.
Ridiculous. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's jump right into lightning round, Micah.
Gone with the Wind is temporarily pulled from HBO Max. You see, there's a bit of a revolution going on. That
no, not these days. There isn't. Not for him.
And black people are mad as hell, and they're not taking it anymore. So, Gone with the Wind is a movie classic, and it takes place in I've never seen Gone with the Wind, by the way.
Nope, I haven't either.
I've heard about it, and I'm just like, nope, can't do it. But it depicts racism in a rose-colored light, basically. Is this the movie with Hattie McDaniel?
Yes, this is what she won her first Oscar.
Yeah, like the only thing I know about this movie is that she won an Oscar. She was the first black woman to win an Oscar for this movie.
Yep.
And HBO has decided to pull this film because now it's really not the right time to have stuff like this around. Not necessarily around, but they want to. So the plan is they want to they want to have. Well, here's a statement from the streaming service. Gone with the Wind is a product of its time and depicts some of the ethnic and racial prejudices that have unfortunately been commonplace in American society. These racist depictions were wrong then and they are wrong today. And we felt the need to keep this title up without we felt that to keep this title up without an explanation and denouncement of those depictions would be irresponsible. So they're going to pull it down for now. They're going to bring it back later, and they're going to have like a little special feature, either at the beginning or the end. It should be the beginning to make people watch it. That talks about, this ain't cool.
No, I'm not buying this. This is corporate performative bullshit. I don't care for it. What it tells me is they're saying, hey, we're going to pull this because we don't want to hear a bunch of bullshit from you, you blacks. And when this all blows over, we'll just put it back up. Yeah. If it's wrong then and it's wrong now, then just pull it. Just pull it. Yeah. You know what Disney did with Songs of the South? They were just like, we're not putting it on Disney Plus. Period. They didn't say for 6 months or when you guys stop rioting or having your little black uprising. When you guys are all done with that, you get back to making this corporate money.
When you're having your racial temper tantrum.
Right. When you're done, we're going to get back to making this cash. No. I personally don't. While I am saying that, right? Like I think it's performative because that's what corporations tend to do in times of getting their money fucked up. Like they're just like, no, we don't. We just launched HBO Max and it stinks. We really don't need more press. Like we don't need that. So that's why they're doing it. But to me, I think that there are ways to handle this. Like Disney did. Just don't put it on your service at all, or just pull it and just pull it. Period. But I also say at the same time, like, I don't think it's necessary to pull.
I don't think it's necessary either. Now, you said, no, you mentioned Disney. This person writing this article mentions Song of the South, and they don't think that what Disney did was the right idea. They said that burying the movie the way Disney has done with Song of the South not only creates the illusion that these racist images never existed in the first place, it also creates an aura around the movie that could make even more people want to seek it out. Do you agree with that, or do you think that that's something that I personally don't buy it. I don't think people are seeking out Song of the South.
No, I think that's a terrible argument. I think it's a terrible argument.
I don't think people are like, oh, well, if Song of the South doesn't exist, then people will think that racist imagery never existed. Like,
yeah, that's not
a very thought out argument.
No, they're trying to do but what about? Like, it's not a one for one. And I'll tell you why. Okay, here's the thing. I agree with them, but for not the reason that they're saying, right? I don't agree with them about Songs of the South because it's not the same as Gone with the Wind, because Songs of the South was for kids. And kids are very, very easily influenced by things that they see that they don't even realize what they mean, right? Like, you could just play Songs of the South and they're just like, oh, get your nigger by its toe. Like, whatever. Like,
zippity-doo-dah.
Right. Like, they don't know. And it seeps into their mind. And that's how you get kids saying shit that they don't even understand. Right. Like, so there's that aspect. And then look, dumb adults do shit like that too. But kids are much more susceptible to that. So that is why you don't put that on. Right. They did the same thing by cutting out the Dumbo crows, cutting out the crows in Dumbo, right? They like literally cut it out of Dumbo. That I didn't think was necessary because, like, don't cut the integrity of the movie. Either remove the movie or leave it as it is, right? Like that's my attitude. Also, the Dumbo crows had the best song. Period.
Yo,
They
on,
do.
man. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, but they did though.
I seen a dragonfly. I seen a housefly.
Right, it was great, but
I seen that too. I seen a peanut stand and heard a rubber band. I seen a needle that winked its eye.
See,
I be done seen about everything. Then I see an elephant fly. I love that fucking song, man.
I bet you do. I bet you do. But the thing is, wow, I can't believe you knew that whole thing. That's crazy. That's a bit racist. But my issue is, like, you could make that argument about Dumbo, right? Because that is a part of the story. You could say, well, you know, they cut that out, and that is, you know, sort of pretending that doesn't exist. But you're not required to show a whole movie if you think that it's damaging to children. Yeah. Like, no, I that's a stupid argument. Gone with the Wind is not for kids. Gone with the Wind is very much for adults. And when adults watch it, look, I'll give you an exact one-to-one connection to this. Today was something that happened. When some adults, white adults, watch Gone with the Wind, they're like, it was such a majestic time and all this other stuff. I'm like, no, it wasn't. For white people, it was, sure. But today, I've never listened to their music, and the name of this band was a major reason why, besides the type of music it is. But that band, Lady Antebellum, came out today and was like, yeah, our bad. We're going to go ahead and change the name of our band. Because apparently they just realized that the Antebellum South has some connotations that may not be racially so good. And
now, do you think, sidebar, do you think that because I looked up the word antebellum and it literally means before the war.
Yeah.
Do you think that they just thought like, oh, antebellum sounds nice? Or do you think they actually meant like.
I don't think they meant anything malicious by it, but it's. Because I see people like, they meant it to be rude to these. I'm like, relax. Most people don't think about other people, right? Like, right. They're not super villains. They're just 3 country music singers. Like, relax. So I think the idea is that they were just like, we love the South, but there's like antebellum houses are supposedly nice or whatever. I don't know. Anything antebellum or Jim Crow. I don't give a fuck about it.
But nobody bothered to look it up.
Right. Like, oh, it's just so majestic. Why don't we just go have a picnic? And then you look up what picnic means and you're like, oh, fuck me. Like, right. You know, you look up the history of these things. You should. By the way, if you don't know the history of picnics in the very racist South of America, you should, because then that'll really change your view on that. But it's like, I saw these people saying, well, you know, Antebellum South is so beautiful and all this other stuff, but because they don't get it, right? Like, that movie glamorized that life, right? It glamorized that time, and it's like, oh, Hattie McDaniel was in it, and yeah, she worked for them, right? Then she went off to her own house and had her own adventures, right? Oh, she worked for them and it was great. And, you know, they had problems, but she was a magical Negro and it was great. No, she was a slave, my nigga. Like, she was a slave. Like, they had slaves in Antebellum South. So, like, the idea of this romanticizing of Antebellum South is ridiculous. But Gone with the Wind did that because that's when it came out in like the 1930s or whatever. Everybody was still cool with that shit. Like, it was fine. Right. So, no, I don't think you should pull it temporarily. I think if you have any balls, you'll pull it permanently. Is there a lot of people watching Gone with the Wind on HBO Max?
Either
what are you losing?
Either pull it or just leave it. And,
right.
And you know, like, it's a piece of art, right? Like, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it.
Right.
But, you know, and if you want to put the disclaimer on there, I'm fine with putting a disclaimer in front of it.
Yeah, it's fine.
But you don't need to touch the movie. You don't need to take out Hattie McDaniel's part in it, right? She won a fucking Oscar for that role.
Right. Oh, fuck her history. Wait, what?
Like, nah, yo. But at the same time, like, either pull it and don't bring it back, or just leave it.
Right.
I would be fine with you leaving it. I ain't watching it.
Right. Like, I don't care if you put it on, because when I signed into HBO Max when it first launched, it was like Gone with the Wind. I was like, this will never get clicked. No,
That's exactly what this is. Gone with a click.
Right. Like, what do I care? So right, exactly. So, like, this idea, and I don't think there are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people like, ooh, Gone with the Wind is on. Oh, I can't wait to watch it. Like, no, this is not a thing. Like, knock it off. If you pull it, they could have pulled it and never said anything, and I bet you most people wouldn't even have noticed. Yeah. So,
noticed.
No, please. Next up,
The Flash fires the Elongated Man for past tweets. That's who he played, the Elongated Man.
Yes. Stretch Armstrong.
I'm out of the Flash, but it looks like Team Flash may be down a member when the Flash returns for its 7th season. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it's too many.
According to the Hollywood Reporter, Hartley Sawyer has been fired from the Flash over offensive social media posts from years ago. Sawyer had played Ralph Dibny, the Elongated Man, since the 4th season of the Flash.
Wait, what? Damn, he's been on that long? That's the last time I was watching it.
Right.
I remember seeing him, and I was like, I don't like this guy at all.
Yeah, I don't. He looks like a fucking young Nazi.
Well, I mean, read his tweets.
I don't know what he said. He just kind of has that like face.
Yo, hold on. Let me see if this article doesn't have his tweets.
Oh, they must be pretty fucking bad.
Yo, don't talk about James Gunn's tweets, all right? Like, yo, James Gunn ain't got nothing on this.
Now that's a question, right? For past tweets, one, how far are we talking?
They were like 2014, I think.
Before he joined in 2014. So they were before.
Yeah.
One of them was from, the Hollywood Reporter notes that Sawyer's remarks were made before he joined The Flash in 2014. The Hollywood Reporter also shared a few examples of Sawyer's resurfaced tweets. Quote, among the tweets users surfaced in the past 2 weeks are one from 2012 in which Sawyer wrote, the only thing keeping me from doing mildly racist tweets is the knowledge that Al Sharpton would never stop complaining about me. And in 2014, he wrote, enjoyed a secret boob viewing at an auction today.
Audition.
Several tweets refer to assaulting women.
Yeah, he was like, I wish I had a wife. If I had a wife, I would beat her or some shit like that. I'm like,
he said, date rape myself so I don't have to masturbate.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
I mean, all right, now that
do y'all just go on? Y'all just do these guys just go on Twitter and just write anything?
I mean, isn't that what Twitter stands for, right? Typing what I'm thinking to everyone reading. Maybe you shouldn't do that, yo.
Hey, let me give you guys a little bit of advice. If you get hired to be on a TV show or some other like very public thing, before that gets announced, because they tell you, right? They call you at home. Like they don't just tweet the shit out to you. They call your ass at home. Here's what you do. Like, because you'll probably know like a couple weeks before, right? Delete your account. Just delete it. Just delete it.
Another one.
Just make a new one. Just make a new one. Delete that shit. Don't say nothing. Delete it. Unfollow everybody. Delete that shit. And just come out and be like, hey, everybody, I got hired for the Flash. J at Flash 22237. Like, just make up a new account, yo. Like, I don't get these guys who are just like, yo, you said some wild shit back in like 2012. You just gonna rock with it? Yo, they're gonna. All you have to do is have a bad episode of the show. People are like, yo, this nigga's got some dirty tweets. Let me just sit. Let me sit and find something. Like, just fuck up one time, yo. Like, just create a new account. Actually, if you're gonna be a Hollywood actor, don't even have a Twitter account.
Yeah, don't.
Stupid. You'll know when we make it. Because that account is gone. Just to make sure. I'd be like,
my Facebook account will be gone.
Oh. Well, I mean, the way my Facebook accounts work, I mean, I can't use them for 30 days at a time, so it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, shit.
Nothing like getting banned live on an episode. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I heard that. That was pretty funny. That woman was a cunt. Fuck her.
Yeah, I didn't think that was hate speech. I wasn't saying all women are or all white women are. I was specifically saying she was.
Yeah.
How do they know I'm not Australian? Australians say it all the time. I'm part Australian.
So that brings us to this question, right? Like, are we okay with this, right? Like, we weren't okay
firing that guy, yes, but just because it's him.
We weren't okay with it when it was someone that we like, right? In James Gunn.
Right.
And he posted like,
I mean, yeah, his stuff was wild.
Like, all right, you need to tone it down.
Yeah, this shit's not even funny.
Right. Oh, they're jokes. Like, where's the punchline? Jokes have punchlines.
I hate you bitches. Ha! That's
right.
Not a joke.
Right. Like, pedophile, like that.
Jeffrey Epstein, and then just leave. Like, that's not, right. It's not a joke.
Not necessarily a joke, but okay. So, I mean, me, myself, personally, I feel as though this dude doesn't necessarily need to lose his job.
Yeah, I probably would agree with you.
You know, he can come out with some bullshit mea culpa like everyone does and just be like, oh, I'm sorry, and I will grow from this, and I will return again. You know, we're very quick to cut the cancer out before we find out that it's cancer.
Yeah.
And look, I don't blame the companies for doing it.
Oh, no, they don't want that smoke.
Right. That's 100% their prerogative. I don't necessarily think he should have lost his job, but I ain't crying for him either. Like,
no, he sucks as an actor.
He fucked up. Every job that I've ever been on has had some sort of morality clause in your paperwork, no matter what job it is. I've worked for several government agencies and I've worked in private industry. Every single one of them has a morality clause. And that's, you know, and I'm not, those jobs don't interact with the public as often as, you know, these high profile actors do.
Right.
So I can't imagine that, you know, like, you just gotta have some common sense, man.
Yeah, look, I'm not yeah, I would tend to agree with you. I think him losing his job is a little crazy. I get it. And again, I would agree that, like, I'm not mad about it. Like,
right.
Like some of the stuff he said weren't really jokes. Like, they were just like statements, you know, and it's
right.
So, like, and he's also like, it's really hard because, like, James Gunn is known as a comedic writer. So it's whether the joke landed for you is a different conversation, but, like, he's coming from a comedy standpoint. He's trying to be extreme, and he was from trauma and all this other stuff. So I get all that, but this guy is just a dude. So it's that's unfortunate for him because it doesn't necessarily play in the same way. I don't know. I don't want to say, like, he absolutely should get his job back, because then people would be like, well, you know, he said some really offensive things about, like, harming women, which is really fucked up, and you can't excuse that type of shit. And again, I totally understand why they would toss his ass. I don't like him on that show, but I also don't like that show, so I don't really care. I'm not invested. If I'm being honest, like, that's where my level of hypocrisy comes in. I'm not invested in The Flash or Elongated Man at all. I just don't care. I can pretend to care, but I don't.
Yeah.
So
I don't care either.
Like, if it was like the guy who plays Agent Coulson, I'd be like, oh man, come on.
Yeah, like, Clark Gregg, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, like, you were on, you know, what was it? What was the show? New Christine or whatever? The Old Adventures of New
Christine?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, I'm like, you directed Choke, man. It wasn't that good, but you directed it. Like, it was no Fight Club. But yeah, I'd be kind of bummed about that, and maybe I would have more fervor one way or the other. But no, I just don't care. And I know that sounds super hypocritical, like, to not give a shit just because I don't like the show, but I'm just not invested. So if you hate the guy, you win. If you love the guy, sorry for you. You like terrible actors, but whatever.
So there's a rumor coming from the Sun, not the Baltimore newspaper, the British tabloid.
Sure.
So take this with a grain of salt. I would say take this with the whole can of Morton's. Some of it, bits and pieces of it. But I hate this. I hate this writer. Here's the deal. Beyonce, who previously voiced Nala in The Lion King and created a whole companion album for the movie, is reportedly making moves to secure a $100 million deal with Disney. According to the Sun's source, Beyonce has become a major player for Disney and is the perfect fit for their brand now.
That is the dumbest sentence in the history of writing. It is the dumbest sentence in the history of writing.
I don't like this. I don't
like their writing either. But to say, quote, according to the Sun source, Beyonce has become a major player for Disney and is the perfect fit for their brand. It's Beyonce. She's a perfect fit for everyone's brand. She's the most popular musician in the world. In the world. Really. The biggest company in the world really likes the biggest artist in the world? You don't say. No shit. Shut up. That's such a stupid line to even write down. And, it turns out money is a perfect fit for poor people. Wow. What where'd you come up with that? What journalism school did you come up with that one from? Like, come on.
Synergy, guys. Synergy.
Did you know Disney and Beyonce get along? Oh, really? Oh. Cigar. Shut up. Stupid.
The source added that the projects Beyonce will likely be involved with include the soundtrack to the Black Panther sequel and 2 other films. While it is unclear what the content of the other 2 movies will be and the extent of her involvement, it is rumored that one will be a Disney documentary similar to the Elephants one voiced by Meghan Markle. Allow me to read that sentence again. While it is unclear what the content of the 2 movies will be and the extent of her involvement. So stop saying that Beyonce is going to be in Black Panther and is going to be Storm. Stop it. Stop doing that shit for fucking clicks.
I saw literally YouTube videos being like, she is going to be Storm in Black Panther 2.
Just shut the fuck up, yo.
Trash, yo. Stop it.
Stop it.
This is why we're not bigger on YouTube, because I refuse to play that game. I refuse.
You did it one time.
I did.
One time, and I really didn't like it. And you've never done it again.
Yeah, and I did it.
Dirty doing it, didn't you?
I did. I felt a little dirty doing it. I did. Boy, did we get a lot of clicks for that one. If you have followed us for a long time, I once wrote an article. This is back when we wrote articles, which we just don't have time to do anymore. But we found this video. Someone had done an artist, stop motion artist rendering of the trailer for Ant-Man, the first trailer, which showed at San Diego Comic-Con, which we saw, but we didn't, we had read about, right? We hadn't seen it. And this person did like a drawing, like a stop motion drawing of it.
It's like an animatic.
Right. And I wrote the article and I posted the video and then I posted the link on Reddit and I was like, do you want to see the Ant-Man trailer? Here it is. And we got like 10,000 views. It was awesome. People were pissed. They were so pissed. They're like, that was awesome, but fuck you, this isn't the trailer. I was like, but you already clicked on it though. Thanks. Yeah, I felt dirty. And you messaged me. You're like, you motherfucker, what are you doing? I was like, wonder if this will work. And I felt terrible at doing it, and I've never done it again. I don't believe in doing that. I will never promote things that I do not know are for sure. Or if we're talking about it, I'll just say it's a rumor, right? This isn't even a rumor. This is stupid. Like, jumping on this is stupid. Because it literally says that she's likely to be involved in the soundtrack for Black Panther and 2 other films. And then it goes on to talk about those 2 other films that the sentence Micah read again. That's not even talking about Black Panther at all.
Right.
Yeah. Also, she would be a terrible choice.
Come on, yo. Like, if there's one thing that the House of Mouse has done, it has nailed casting, except from like maybe one or two outliers. It's nailed casting.
It's never failed on a major casting. Like one of the heroes?
I'm not a huge Edward Norton fan.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, that's fair.
But that's,
that's very early on.
He's fine, right? I didn't mind him in it. But they course corrected very well. And then all the major heroes, and I regard you the major heroes and their sidekicks.
Yeah.
The other casting mishap was Terrence Howard. And look, part of that is just my bias.
No, I didn't think he was good anyway. I don't hate Terrence Howard, but I'm not a fan. He just played it like Terrence Howard. I'm a huge Don Cheadle fan, and I'm a huge Terrence Howard hater. Right. So it worked out.
Right. So there's my bias, right? But they've nailed casting. And I can't imagine that Disney so didn't look at The Lion King and heard this African lion from Houston just deliver those lame ass lines.
Like, her power is her music. Her power is not her acting. Right? And her general popularity. It's not like Black Panther, as somebody pointed out, which I thought was a good point. It's not as if Black Panther like barely made a profit or didn't do well. They don't need Beyonce. That movie made $1 billion without her.
Right.
So no. I think it's interesting that it's likely that she does a soundtrack or some like offshoot album based on it, because they had Kendrick Lamar do the first one, which was dope. So yeah, why not get some super prominent artist to come in and do the soundtrack for the second one? Okay, I got no problem with that. But if you think she's going to be Storm, you're a fool. You're a fool. And the people who are promoting that shit should absolutely be called out. Absolutely called out. They won't be, because they just throw up a bunch of bullshit and you guys go watch all of it, which drives me crazy. But no, I don't think she's going to be Storm. Also, all of you people who were like, Storm needs to be dark skinned, but all of a sudden they're like, Beyonce's going to be Storm, so it's fine. You're a bunch of hypocrites. You're a bunch of massive hypocrites. So, no. And she's not dark enough to be Storm. Sorry. And I don't need Storm to be from Africa by way of Houston. Okay? No. Knock it off. It's fucking dumb.
Could you imagine?
Yo, a Storm? Beyonce is Storm? No, I cannot imagine. Actually, I cannot.
Like, it would be very unique. Like from the very like hyper regal like '90s Storm to whatever the fuck Halle Berry ended up doing to whatever the hell fake Aaliyah ended up doing. Like it would be like Halle Berry and fake Aaliyah. They kind of mesh, right? Like they're kind of similar characters. But it's a far cry from the Storm that I grew up with in the 90s.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then Beyonce, all I can think about is like her performance in Goldmember and from what I could remember in The Lion King. Like
Obsessed. I don't think I've had so much fun doing an episode of Black on Black Cinema than when we reviewed Obsessed. That movie is insane.
Again, man. That shit was good. Man.
That's an insane movie. Good Lord. It's so bad. So no, I don't think, and I don't think anybody being honest thinks Beyonce is going to be in Black Panther. Somebody made the point of like, she might be in Black Panther like Trevor Noah was in Black Panther.
Yeah, and even then, I wouldn't want that because Trevor Noah spoke. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
He has
I don't need
roles. I don't think Beyonce needs to speak in movies.
Yeah, knock it off. All right. Let's see. Movie and TV news this week. This is weird. Disney is developing a original movie musical called All Night Long from the Lionel Ritchie song catalog. Here's the thing. I love Lionel Ritchie. I liked him in the Commodores. I like solo Lionel Ritchie. Zoom is my shit. I love that song. I always will. I love All Night Long. It's a great song. This is just weird. Like, this is just a weird fucking article. I don't know why they're doing it now. Does Lionel Ritchie have some project coming out that they're like, yo, we got to get on the Lionel Ritchie train in 2020? I don't know. It's just weird.
Is he really like a powerhouse on American Idol that they're just like, yo, let's scoop up Lionel Ritchie before he really blows up again?
Yo, the Commodores are getting back together. Oh shit. We got to get on this train. Yeah, tentatively titled All Night Long, the new project will use some of Ritchie's greatest hits in a live-action project in early stages of development with theatrical release in mind, sources say. Ritchie and his manager, who cares, Eskowitz, are producing the project with Cavalry Media executives and screenwriter Peter Corelli, who did Crazy Rich Asians and The Proposal. And he's that person, Pete is working on this script. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
This is really weird. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot more musicals that have been, or sort of music focused movies that have been happening lately. This article points out like Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket Man, Jersey Boys, Rock of Ages, Across the Universe. Like there's been a number of them in the last couple of years. So, I mean, look, maybe it'll do gangbusters. I mean, look, Lionel Richie made a lot of great music. So sure. I guess there's just a weird fucking
it's really random.
Yeah, this is like it's Mad Libs, like Lionel Richie Disney live action musical. Sure, let's just fucking throw that all together. It's very weird.
Like why Lionel Richie of all people, right?
I really don't know. I really don't know.
Like, oh well, let's just make a musical on the musical catalog of Aaron Hall.
Aaron Hall. Aaron Hall. Huh? What a deep cut. What's that guy been up to?
Exactly.
Next up, this isn't movie or TV news, but it is relevant to your nerd interest. Detective Comics, otherwise known as DC Comics, cuts ties with Diamond Comic Distributors. No one is laughing harder about this than former employee of Diamond Comics Distributors, Carrie. She is loving this. In a seismic shift for the comic book industry, DC has cut ties with Diamond Comic Distributors. The announcement was made via an email to retailers sent Friday morning, with the company telling customers that all orders for DC products will be fulfilled by Lunar Distribution and UCS Comic Distributors for periodical releases and Penguin Random House for graphic novels and collected editions. Look, this is a big deal because basically Diamond has a monopoly. And we talked about this when Carrie was on actually, a couple of weeks ago. And so they have a monopoly and everyone is just kind of stuck with them. But during the pandemic, it kind of showed like these guys are not capable of doing this shit if things go awry because they do things very old school. I have to imagine, I don't know if Marvel goes with them, but I think they do. I have to imagine you'll probably see Marvel walk away from them as well. Yeah. Yeah, because they've been stuck. And I'm interested to know how this affects pricing, because are the prices higher because of the
going through Diamond,
right? Because it's a monopoly, right? So they could just be like, "This is what we're charging you to distribute your comics, and you can't go anywhere else. So fuck you." Does that bring the price down? I don't know. It'd be nice if it did. I feel like comics don't need to be $5.99 a book, which is crazy.
Yeah,
But then again, sometimes they're that expensive online, which is stupid to me.
I mean, I even kind of get that, right? You're paying for convenience, maybe.
Right. That actually does make more sense.
Right, but like an actual book in hand. Do single issue comics still have advertisements in them?
I don't know because I don't read. I read just digital, so I have no idea.
If they do, and they still cost $4 and $5.99, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I would agree. I never understand the idea of spending that kind of money on a single book. Like I'm looking at Marvel's books, like their single books, for the most part on Comixology are $3.99 an issue. And let's see, what's DC's? I know DC's sometimes are more expensive, which is, I'm like, no. No, most of their stuff is $3.99 as well. So, but look, it's, I'm not paying you. I know they do have some special stuff that's like $4 and $5. So look, if that brings the price down, I think $2.99 is a pretty good, reasonable cost for a comic book. I mean, I think $3 is enough in a book that you read for fucking
issue 24-page comic book. I think so.
Yeah, $3. I mean, you read the book in 10 minutes.
Right.
Like if you really want to savor it, 15.
Right.
Which is why I do digital. So I can read 10 of them at a time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens to Diamond. I feel like they're going to be in a world of trouble. They might end up only distributing like the smaller imprints like Dynamite and things like that are just not selling nearly as many books. So, yeah. Which is unfortunate because then that will probably lead to more layoffs. Because why do you need the staff and everything else if you're not distributing like Marvel and DC or only just one of those? Next up, long running show Cops canceled.
I did not know this was still on the air.
Neither did I. And it shouldn't be. Yeah, Paramount, the Paramount Network canceled it. It used to be on Fox, I believe, right?
Yeah,
for a long time.
Way back in the day when Fox was still a fledgling channel. They would put stuff like they introduced the world to the Bundys.
Yeah.
And they had Cops. Like Fox was the white trash channel.
It was. Yeah.
It really was.
It was.
Like it was the lower middle class to lower class white channel. Like people are like, what about a white entertainment television? It was Fox.
Yeah, dude. Like it really was. Yeah, it really was. And that's funny because like, yeah, it did really cater to exactly. Yeah, them creating a news network didn't really have to jump that far, did it? They were just like, just turn your eyes over here. Yeah, I didn't realize how long Cops had been on. Cops had been on since March 11th, 1989.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's had 1,103 episodes and 33 seasons.
God damn.
Yeah, I think that's enough. I think it's enough. I think I've seen enough episodes of the Cops and a cameraman who can run as fast as the police, chasing a crazy white man and a wife beater. I think I've seen enough.
I mean, like that's literally what it is. And then the zoom in on the fucking meth head or whatever the fuck he is, and I mean, like it's the same shit, right? Either nothing exciting happens, or they're going to a domestic dispute, and they just sit there and they talk with the guy, the criminal, and or the suspect or whatever. It's the same show over and over again. And then they have testimonials while they're in the cars talking about how hard their fucking job is. Like, yeah, I get it. But at the same time, like, maybe you should concentrate on doing your work and not playing to the fucking camera.
I don't give a fuck about any cop saying their job is hard. If it's hard, if it's too hard, quit.
Yeah.
Just quit.
It's not my fault you don't have any appreciable skills.
Right. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know. Oh, Blue Lives Matter. No. It's just a job. It's a job.
Nigga, blue is a job, yo.
It's a job.
Blue is a fucking job.
Yeah, you can just go home. Like, it's fine. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, hey, I'm a cop and I work hard. That's great. As someone expertly tweeted out once, no one ever made a song called "Fuck the Fire Department." So there's a reason. There's a reason why. Yeah, I don't care that this show is canceled. It's a really good quick tweet. It's just really good.
Firefighters just letting buildings burn. Like, no,
fuck them. Red lives matter, yo. Like, all right, like I guess. But it's 33 seasons is enough. Like how many videos do you need to see of cops just like grabbing up a crazy person in the middle of the night? Because there's never cases where like they're kind of like shady. It's always like drug dealer, domestic violence. It's always where the cop comes off as perfect. Always.
Plus, you know that the producers are in those cops' ears, right? To try and like, hey, 100%. Make it a little interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe night stick them down a little bit.
It just like, and with the advent of like procedural dramas, like I'm shocked that Cops was on this long.
Yo, I can't believe people still watch the show. Like, that's crazy.
Like, nah, yo.
Nobody is happier about this news than Dick Wolf. Nobody.
Yeah. Like, I'll sit there and I'll watch The Rookie. I'll watch Nathan Fillion play an LAPD cop. They have way more interesting cases.
Yeah. Castle?
Yeah, Castle. That's why we're watching it, because Castle's a cop now.
he went from being a fictional writer to being on the other side and being an actual cop.
Yeah. I told her, Castle used to be a space pirate. Castle? Like, yeah, he was a brown coat. He's a writer.
Oh my God.
Cop.
I only watched a couple episodes of Castle. I was surprisingly drawn into that show, and I
really like it.
Yeah, and I hated myself for every moment of it. I was like, this is dumb as shit. I'm like,
I really like it.
Yeah, I feel like if that's on a streaming service, I might watch that. Like, it feels like TV that's very easy to watch.
Man, it really is. Fucking, we mentioned him earlier. Imagine James Patterson just being fucking hanging out with a cop to get inspiration for his stories. Like, yeah,
that's basically what Castle is. Yeah,
but I really like that show. It's really good.
There you go.
And you can just kind of jump in and out of it
because it doesn't.
But yeah,
like Cops, like the show Cops.
I mean, the one thing that Cops did for society, this show, is the theme song.
Two things. Theme song, which is great. It's classic, right?
Yeah.
It's classic. Two, that is where the term wife beater came from.
Really?
Yes, because every episode was like a crazy dude who hit his wife wearing that particular shirt, and that's where the term wife beater came from. Was from Cops. It absolutely is. Yep. Which is fucked up, by the way. We really shouldn't use that term anymore. It's horrible.
It's a fucking tank top, guys.
Right. They're like, nah, yo, that's a wife beater. Yo, are you listening to yourself? Like, that's a fucked up term. America. Apparently, now, the reason why I got canceled isn't because it's been on for 33 seasons. It has over 1,100 episodes, and we can't believe anyone is still watching it. It got pulled because of the George Floyd protests. And they were like, hey, maybe we should stop licking the boots of cops every week by putting the show on. Are you okay with that being the reason?
Yeah, I'm more than fine with it being the reason. Do it for everybody. Do it for everybody then. Do it for all civil servants. Do it for postal workers. And do it for the fire. First of all,
I would be much more. Yo, I'd be much more apt to watch a firefighter show. That sounds awesome.
Fucking backdraft every week.
Yo, also kind of sad because there's like probably a lot of people who die. But Like, that would be badass. Like, that would be a badass show. Like, dudes walking around with axes and shit. Like, yeah, hell yeah. I'd watch the shit out of that.
Fucking sicking their Dalmatians on the fire. And
is that what you think happens?
Firefighters do.
I was like, is that what you think happens? They all keep their Dalmatians with them the whole time.
Where's the fire? Where's the fire, boy? Where's the fire?
Niggas right there. I'm not going in there. I'm a dog. I'm not an idiot. Yeah, no, I would watch that. Like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm fine with them pulling cops. I mean, it's cops are they're getting depending on who you talk to, they're getting a bad rep, but they feel like they're being treated like thugs and animals.
Yeah, I watched that video. Like, the whole time I was like, nigga, shut up. Shut up, show some respect. Yeah, this is your problem.
NYPD also.
You guys are like the most violent gang in the country. Shut up.
Right. You and the LAPD are vying for first place.
It was the Bloods and the Crips. Come on. Knock it off.
But no, if you go, but that part of that is the reason why cops feel like they have to, be treated a certain way,
right?
Because we have glorified cops and police forever, right? Because it's a job that nobody wants to do, and it's a job that people are generally afraid to do. Like, nobody wants to be a sanitation worker, but we don't glorify them, right? Nope. It's a job that nobody wants to do, but we glorify them. And that's why some cops have a tendency to be entitled.
Yeah.
Like, we glorify the military, but the military, from my experience, military people aren't like that, because they kind of break you down and beat that shit out of you. They don't do that when you're a cop, not to the extent of being in the military.
Right.
And again, I'm talking out of my ass, right?
I would say that's somewhat true.
I'm talking out of my ass. I fully admit that. But, I'm going to do like everyone else does and use anecdotal evidence to prove my point. And I've been around military people, and I've been around police, and police just have a certain way about them that's just like, when I was at orientation at the job that I'm at now, I work for a local municipality, and they bring in everybody. They bring in a bunch of new hires, right? They bring in a ton of them that work in all different locations, right? Instructor sitting up there, light-skinned black woman. She sounds like she's from up north, like New York or something like that. And she's talking, right? Like, she's the instructor or whatever. And she's talking. And there's this one table, and they just having conversations with themselves.
I hate.
They're just having a conversation while this woman is talking. And the woman turns over to them. She addresses them like, "Hey, can you guys pay attention up here?" Right. And they keep having they stop, then they get back to having their conversations and shit. And she looks at them and she goes, "You guys are cops, aren't you?" And the beaming is the smile. Yeah. She was like, "Yeah, I can tell." And then she just fucking kept going, because she had to plow through this shit, because she wanted to hurry up and get the fuck out of there. And these were fucking cadets, yo. These were fucking cadets.
Wow.
Like, and she knew it because they have that air about them.
Yeah, bravado.
Yeah, man. Like,
yeah, I'm not a
knocked down a peg. You need to be knocked down a peg.
Look, not a fan. Not a huge fan.
And I don't hate cops, man. But
I don't hate them.
You're giving me you making it real hard. You're making it real hard to say that shit.
My thing is, I don't hate police. But I also live in reality. Like, I got shit. I own shit. I want to be able to call the police and be like, can y'all come and deal with some nonsense?
Do your fucking job.
Right. Just do your job. That's it. But I don't glorify them. Like, I don't glorify anybody. Like, I don't glorify the military either. I don't.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't.
No, you should not. And look, those are people who would put their life on the line. No doubt. But no, don't do that. You just become a bootlicker at that point.
Right. People should want to do that because they have a calling, not
right.
Because, and
you can respect it. There's nothing wrong with respecting it.
I 100% respect it. But people become cops and shit like that because they feel like they need to be respected. You should.
I'm just going to keep my views to myself on that one. You know what? Listen to Look Forward every week. After the hour mark. I'll tell you exactly what I think.
And you need to, you should be law enforcement or military or whatever because you want to, because you have a calling for it, not because, you got picked on in school and now they'll respect me.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
I've met a couple police like that, and it's just sad.
Yeah, it's also dangerous. It's also really dangerous to everybody else.
Right.
You will respect me. I don't even know you, man. Why are you yelling? Yeah, so Cops got canceled. Live PD also got canceled, which is another cop show.
Never heard of it.
I've never seen it, but I didn't know of it. But I did see a tweet about Live PD today. They apparently were involved in a case. Like, they were filming when someone got murdered in their car, I think, by the police, and they purposely destroyed the evidence. I was like, that seems really illegal, but whatever state they were in, they didn't get like nailed with like accessory after the fact, but they should have, like in my opinion. But yeah, and somebody said like that show, the cops on Live PD have like big social media presences, so they do a lot of like clout chasing stuff, which is not acceptable. Like,
that's dangerous, man. That's dangerous.
Yeah, the closest
cops are human beings, man, and they're not like, that's why in the future, like when you see shit in the future, they're all like robot cops and shit like that because people are fucking fallible, man. Like,
you can't give people power like that. This is a bad idea.
You can't give somebody, look, I've held a couple guns. I felt like a fucking badass, right?
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, I've held guns too. It's fucking awesome. That's why I don't own one.
Right.
No, you should buy a gun. No, I should not.
I feel like if I had one, I would use it, and that's not a good thing. And use it like Homer Simpson used it.
Right, to turn the TV off.
Turn the TV off by shooting the fucking thing. So no, man, like I can't. I'm not responsible enough. I'm barely responsible enough to carry knives. I'm not responsible enough to carry a fucking handgun. But I felt fucking powerful. And when I was shooting shit, I was doing pretty well. It's like, I can't be somebody that has this kind of power for a living. For my job?
No, dude. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. No. Mm-mm. No, I've shot guns before. It's awesome. Because people, when you say like, no, I'm not a gun person, they're like, have you ever gone to the range? I'm like, yeah, it's great. No, I know exactly what it's like to shoot a gun. No thanks. Like, no. My neighbor didn't cut the grass the other day. I'm like, let's get out there. Let's go talk to him. Oh, you not going to listen? Oh, you go cut that grass today.
That fucking dog won't shut up.
Bow. Yeah, there's one right up the hill, too. I'm like, yeah, I don't think you need this hound that bad.
We got neighbors with two of them. They look like fucking dire wolves. And they're fucking huge, man.
Tell your dog stop barking. You want me to let him out? Nah, you good. You good. Here's a bone. Yeah, nah. Mm-mm. So I was going to say the closest I come to any of these sort of cop shows is I watched a couple episodes of this show on Netflix. It's I think it's over now. I don't think it got picked up. It was called Shot in the Dark. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's kind of like that movie Nightcrawler. Where it follows the guys who they chase around the accidents, like they have the scanners, and so they're in like these souped up cars, trying to get there before the police and shit, so that they can film and sell their shit to news stations.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a television series. It's called Shot in the Dark. It's pretty wild. But yeah, the premise is an American documentary TV series. Explores the story of stringers in Los Angeles. Yeah, so stringers are just freelance journalists, photographers, or videographers. So, yeah, it's literally Nightcrawler, but it was like a TV series. So they had like there were different companies, so they had different drivers and shit. Like it follows a stringing company called OnScene.tv, Loud Labs LLC, and RMG News as they try to sell their shots to the news. And so it's all like car accidents and shit.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a wild show, man. It was super, super wild. But I'll watch that. But I'm not watching a show about cops. No. Fuck them. Sorry. All right, question of the week, Micah.
We asked you what do you want us to talk about? Anthony comes in and says, who do you think Beyonce is going to be in Black Panther 2? All of the most legit, never wrong websites are saying that their inside sources say that she'll be Storm. I can't wait to see her on the big screen again. And then he has a picture of Obsessed.
He's such a fucking troll. I mean, obviously Storm makes sense. Maybe she'll make a cameo as Misty Knight, and that's when they'll reconnect all of the Heroes for Hire part of the universe from Netflix. They'll replace that woman with Beyonce, and then they'll just go forward from there.
Yeah, and then they'll replace Tiana Parrish with Beyonce as Monica Rambeau, and
that makes sense.
They'll just let her play every black woman.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Beyonce is fucking Storm. Shut up. So stupid.
Eric says, which fast food place has the best fries? I would suspect that you don't have an answer to this.
I do have an answer for this.
Okay. I will say I'm kind of partial to Checkers fries. Rallies / Checkers.
This is the most un-American answer I've ever heard.
McDonald's.
The answer is McDonald's. The answer is McDonald's.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
Yes, it is. McDonald's fries are so good that people will go buy McDonald's fries alone. Nobody's going to Rallies or Checkers and getting just their fries. Get out of here.
It's because they don't have. Because look, you say McDonald's because there's a fucking McDonald's on every corner.
No, but McDonald's fries are better than everyone else's.
I mean, look, if you like fucking salt sticks, like that's fine.
What are you talking about? You just said Checkers. It's got just a bunch of shenanigans on those fries.
It's herbs and seasoning.
You can't name a single herb that's on there either. I do like Checkers fries, but I don't think they're as good as McDonald's. Who has the worst fries? That's a better question.
I hate Burger King fries. I don't like Burger King fries.
Yeah, they're okay.
I'm not a waffle fry guy either. I don't like waffle fries.
Oh, from like Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I don't eat much Chick-fil-A anymore, but I never got their fries.
I don't think Wendy's has good fries. They're always like wet noodles. they're the worst.
I don't think I've been to a Wendy's. How old am I? 40? Almost 40? I think the last time I went to a Wendy's, I don't think I was even 20.
I easily, the last time I went to a Wendy's, I was like 21 years old. I'm pretty sure.
Like, Wendy's is just gross.
They're so dirty. Every Wendy's is dirty. Every single one. Every one of them is dirty.
That's the word. They're dirty. All of them.
They are.
Every Wendy's is dirty.
They don't even fucking try. They don't try. Like, you know how you have like the bathrooms at restaurants or like a fast food place and it's like the sign, you know, it's like, oh, Johnny cleaned it at 12 o'clock. Susan cleaned it at 1 o'clock. Hey, I don't got that. That shit at Wendy's. No way.
Of course not. And we're East Coasters, so we don't, you know, we've had fast food, you know, at like Jack in the Box and In-N-Out and stuff like that.
In-N-Out fries are pretty good.
In-N-Out fries are okay. But yeah, I'm partial to Checkers, and this basic ass nigga is all about McDonald's fries.
Look, in fairness to me, I don't really eat fast food. So So the last time I had McDonald's fries, I mean, it's probably been a couple months since I've had McDonald's fries, but maybe a year at this point. But yeah, I like McDonald's fries. I'm trying to think though. The only thing that's good about Wendy's fries is that you can dip them in your Frosty.
That sounds gross.
You've never had. Yeah, you're un-American. Yeah. You got to at least gross. No, you got to try you got to try Wendy's fries in a Frosty. That's good stuff. That is actually.
You just told me to dip a fucking wet potato chip in ice cream. No, yo.
You eat ice cream all the time. Don't act like you wouldn't do it.
That's right. I eat ice cream all the time. You know what I don't have with it as a side? Fucking French fries.
Whatever.
Nah, yo. Plus, they only sell like chocolate Frosties. I'm not big on chocolate.
I don't like chocolate ice cream at all. I think it is the biggest waste, but I do like a Frosty. And I haven't had one in arguably 20 years, 19 years, something like that.
Yeah, last time I had a Frosty, I couldn't drink the shit because it was too thick.
No, you're not supposed to drink it. What are you, an idiot?
I don't know what the fuck. Yeah,
apparently you have no idea how Wendy's works. One, they're all dirty. Two, you don't try to drink a fucking Frosty. Three, put your wet potato chips into said Frosty. That's the only way it's acceptable.
Well, 3 strikes and I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's a fair point.
Ken says, Micah and Jay, as fathers, which of your nerd loves are you going to try and stick on your kids? I got Scooby-Doo and Snoopy in, but Batman failed. He went for Spider-Man instead, which is acceptable. I don't know if I'm not going to push it on him because when I hear the term like push or stick onto your kids,
yeah,
that makes me think that they're just going to rebel and just be like, nope, fuck all of it then.
Yeah.
But I will introduce him to Spider-Man. I think, when on days that I don't feel like being an actual father and just want pop culture to raise my children, I think Spider-Man is...
Look at this. Leave me alone. Shut up.
I think Spider-Man is probably the best of all worlds, right? You can't have them look up to Superman, right? That's what Jesus is for. You can't have them look up to Batman. Right?
He's a lunatic.
He's a psycho billionaire lunatic. Right? He's Jeffrey Epstein without pedophilia.
Well, I would argue the Robin situation isn't the best look for him. He's got a lot of wards. How did he make his money? We don't really know. I'm just saying.
The concept of Green Lantern is good, right? You got to have willpower and stick-to-itiveness, but like fucking Hal Jordan's a psycho. And then, you go on the Marvel side, right? Captain America.
Oh, you got Wonder Woman too. She's a badass.
She is. I would want him to, like, this is what you need to find in a mate, right?
Is that how you would talk to him?
But a black one. Find a black mate like this one.
Doesn't she have a cousin or whatever? LaWanda? Is she black?
LaWanda woman.
That's fine.
You go on the Marvel side, right? Captain America, that's not going to work, right? Like,
yeah. Hey, black son, right. Listen to this flag covered authority figure.
All right. Thor doesn't exist, right? Like there's no parallel to Thor in the real world.
Yeah, it's a bro dog.
I'm sure people would be like, "Oh, you're gonna say Dr. Doom?" No, dude. No.
What's wrong with you?
He's a fucking lunatic, dude.
Yeah, it's not a good look. I need you to cover yourself in all armor and be a complete narcissistic psychopath.
Right. Like, nah, yo. But
don't follow your father.
Spider-Man, the whole power and responsibility thing, like,
yeah, it's a good story.
To help people when you should try to help people, even if they dick you over, you should still try to help people, and there are consequences to your actions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's
like if you don't eat your peas.
Right. Like if you don't eat your fucking food, you're not going to get your yogurt.
You're not gonna
So
get
eat
you
your food
Eat it.
and stop making all them stupid faces.
Is he still a picky eater?
Yeah, he's a very picky eater.
We didn't run into it. We skirted that one so far.
Oh well, good. Wait till after the first couple. Yeah, she's already.
Yeah, she's had her cake on her first birthday. Yeah, but we were smart. Carrot cake, not that it wasn't sweet, but it had lots of vegetables in it.
It wasn't a Megan special. It wasn't just fucking a cylinder of sugar.
I mean, it was pretty sweet. We still eat it. Like, we had some in the freezer the other day. Trust me, it's definitely sweet. As far as nerd stuff, yeah, I'm sort of in the same boat. Like, I try not to. I'm gonna try not to push anything. I just kind of like have things around, right? Like, hey, if you're into this, that's cool. Because I also like the idea of her teaching me something. As well. She's obviously not old enough now. She's just 1. But when she gets a little bit older, I'm really going to make sure that she watches the Harry Potter series. Because I think that is one of the best kid series of all time. In my opinion, not because J.K. Rowling wrote it, because she's a piece of garbage. She is a fucking mental patient. And so are her fans, apparently, which is why I got my account banned, because I called a bigot a cunt. Sorry. But, yeah, it was worth it. It's totally worth it. But the Harry Potter story is really good, right? It teaches kids to persevere. It teaches them to stand up to their fears. I mean, that whole story is about a kid who's terrified of this villain who kills his parents, and everyone is like, this guy is scary, he's going to kill you, and it looms over him, and he's just growing up, and he's growing up under this fear, and then eventually he has to face his fears, and he faces them head on, and he beats them. Like, it's such a good story. It really is.
It also teaches you that you are special, and people that aren't special are fucking muggles.
Yeah.
Just call them fucking names.
Right. And because my daughter is mixed race, she'll be referred to as a mudblood, apparently. Like, the fuck? You know, that universe is well thought out. Like, it has its own level of bigotry, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because J.K. Rowling is a bigot. But whatever. He's psycho. Somehow she can think of wizard sports, but can't understand trans people exist. Like, right. Okay. No, Quidditch is totally reasonable.
Rally behind my cause, but fuck yours.
Yeah. Funny that. Yeah. Very good. Listen to this week's episode of Black on Black Cinema. Yeah. God damn. If only J.K. Rowling could have made those statements right before we could have brought that up. So yeah, like the Harry Potter series is big for me. I think it's important. The other one is like, there's a lot of, I'm raising a girl. So, I think it is incredibly important to have strong female characters. Like, I want her to watch Captain Marvel. I want her to watch Wonder Woman. I want her to watch all of those things. My wife even watched Wonder Woman. She was like, damn, this movie was good. I was like, yeah, until the third act. but yes. So those things are important to me. The Marvel movies in general are, I think, just fun. Like, so they have some really good messaging and stuff, but she's not old enough to see those yet. Like, not in my opinion. Not like that she would even if I put it in front of her, she would watch it. She'd be like, "Whoa, this is amazing," but she wouldn't understand what the fuck is going on. Like, she doesn't even watch. Like, we're not even having her watch any television until she's 18 months. So, she's got another 6 months before she'll watch anything. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, Spider-Man, I think is a good one. I guess Batwoman at some point, if that series exists. Probably not, because I don't want my kid watching anything on the CW, frankly. Just for taste, not for good or bad, just for taste. But yeah, I think it's important to let your kids also find their own thing. Like, my parents didn't have to get me into the shit. I just got into it. Like, And if my daughter's not into it, she's not into it. I don't see that as some failing.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, I remember my parents tried to get me into sports.
Right.
And that's something that I want to get him into. Like because I think sports is good for children.
It is good.
Like it teaches you, what to do when it teaches you to quickly realize that you're not going to get everything you want. And then you're going to have to fucking deal with it. And,
teaches them teamwork too, which is good.
Right. Teamwork and camaraderie and shit like that. And
crushing your enemies, seeing them driven before you. Oh, sorry.
And like wanting to win, winning feels good, and you should want to win. Yeah. But
like Charlie Sheen,
what happens? What happens if you don't win? Right?
Right. That's a serious lesson you have to learn.
That's right. That's the lesson that you have to learn through, because that's life is gonna fucking make you lose a lot, and you're gonna have to fucking deal with it. But I also don't want to like my father fucking pushed me into fucking basketball and shit. And that's why I fucking can't stand basketball.
Well, you're a waste of height, as many people have told you.
Yeah, people have told me that to my goddamn face.
Like, yo, I'm a 40-year-old man. Yo, stop saying that to me. Yo, relax. Yeah, it's sports I think are important. If she wants to play sports, I think that's great. Music, learning. I mean, the only thing I'm probably gonna my wife and I are, I think, both pretty adamant about, quote unquote, pushing, is her learning a second language.
Yeah, I would really love for him to learn a second language. You got one in mind?
I know a number of Spanish speakers. My wife's friend that you know, her daughter is college age, and they were over the other day hanging out with us. And she was speaking just Spanish to her, right? I would love that. I told her, I said, look, if you're still around because you're not going back to college because of the pandemic or whatever, I was like, we're going to hire you to just talk to her. Yeah, she'll pick it up. So
some of the curriculums here in Montgomery County, they teach Spanish at a very young age.
It's the best time to learn.
That would be wonderful. I would love for him to know French,
but learning a second language is just better in general, just because it actually makes it also easier for them to learn a third or a fourth or whatever.
Yeah, because they're all derived from Latin.
Yeah, but I think it also affects how your brain works in being able to just translate, just to pick up other things. I mean, that's one thing I regret, is not learning a second language young. And I refuse to have that happen to my daughter.
Yeah, why do they do that? And why do they introduce that in high school?
Yeah, it should be introduced right in elementary school.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that always bothered me.
But that's a very American thing. I think that's not true in other countries.
No, Montreal, you better know both.
Yeah,
and they assume you speak French before English.
Yeah, well, that's because of the province there, right?
Yeah.
So
anyway.
yeah. So no, I think it's actually, I wouldn't say bad, because that sounds too judgmental, but I don't think it's the best idea to try to push your kid into what nerdy stuff. Just have shit around. Look, you want your kid to be really into Spider-Man or Batman? Just have that shit sitting around. Guess what? They're gonna look at it. Oh, what's this? And you're like, oh, this is Batman. Let's check out this cartoon. They'll be like, all right, cool, and then they're into it. Instead of being like, sit down, boy, and watch this good old cartoon from my youth. Like my dad used to be. My dad was like, my dad used to call me from playing outside and be like, come sit and watch this Western. I'm like, put a gun in my mouth. I don't want to watch this. That was him pushing his nerdy shit on me. And now I can't stand Westerns except for a few of them. So it's the same thing. This is nothing new. So yeah, just have the shit on, you watching it, they will gravitate towards you. That's just how it works. All right.
Carl, one of our OG listeners, Carl was flexing on fools, reminiscing, because I think somebody was like, oh, I'm going to start by listening to the episode 1 of the Nerdpocalypse. Carl was like, man, I was back. I was a fan back when they did it live and had a chat room and all that.
Yeah, Jesus.
And then we cut that shit out because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
It's also nerve-wracking.
It was a lot of work for me looking at you.
I'm just like, I was like sweating, like, we have 3 minutes left. No, it was a pain in the ass. But it's too nerve-wracking for me.
Carl says, if you were gifted $1 million to do with as you please, with the stipulation that the money has to be reinvested into the network in some way, how would you use that money? Equipment upgrades, dedicated studio space, new shows. Dedicated paychecks would be nice.
I don't like this idea. Embezzlement.
I would take this opportunity to add an extension on my house and be like, yeah, this is for the studio.
Right. Hello. Obviously.
Mowed in from now on.
I ain't never coming up there. No, I would get dedicated studio space. I watch enough of those home improvement shows to know that I want to build. Eventually, my wife and I want to build our like forever house out of storage containers. They're really inexpensive. I would take a number of those, put them together. You can get them for pretty cheap. Put them together and build an awesome studio. Yeah, that's what I would do, and that would not cost $1 million.
Yeah, you just give the rest to me.
Sure. Let's go with that.
James says, after Predator, Die Hard, Hunt for Red October, Last Action Hero, Die Hard with a Vengeance, and the Thomas Crown Affair, is there anyone you want to come back to directing more than John McTiernan?
No.
Those are some heavy fucking hitters.
Yeah, like, nah, John McTiernan really should come back and do action movies.
Yeah, man. Every single one of those movies is great.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of the Thomas Crown Affair, but
oh, really? I would have thought that would have been right up your bag, right up your alley.
Maybe I need to watch it again.
I mean, it's like non-violent James Bond. I mean, like,
and I think
like
that's
literally.
Why I was like, what is this?
Yeah, you get to see Rene Russo's tits in that movie. Yeah, that glider. Glider was pretty dope.
Johnny says, so y'all paying $800 for a PS5?
$800? Is that what it costs?
They don't have
No, I was like, yo, what? Yo, Miles Morales is worth a lot, but he ain't worth $800. I had to watch the videos on YouTube for that one. No.
I'm not gonna lie. If it's $600, I'll buy it.
$800? You spent $600 on the PS2 though.
On a PS3
or 3, yeah.
$600 on PS3. I would do that again. I don't want to do that again, and it would have to be like that. Can't be base, right? Like,
oh no, that's got to be the full lit version,
right? That's got to be the fucking,
Do they still come with games?
I mean, you can play with the box once you open it. That could be a game.
Like they don't do that anymore because I don't buy launch systems, so I don't know. Like, so if I bought a PlayStation 5 and it was a $600 one, like that shit don't come with no games.
No,
nah, yo, go fuck yourself.
You might be able to download a demo.
Nah, yo, no, $600. No, I need like 3 games. I need 3 games, 2 controllers, and a gun. I need a Nintendo deal. Get out of here. No.
Yeah,
I'm
very nervous.
What's the ideal price? That's really going to get that thing rolling. 400.
I mean, the ideal price is 400. That ain't happening.
You don't think you think you're going higher than 400?
It's the price will be it'll be tiered, and I think one will be 450 and 500.
450, 500. My guess is 450, 550.
That's probably because 550 isn't 600.
Right.
So yeah, you're probably.
Hey, it's under 600. You remember when your stupid ass paid for $600 on a PlayStation 3? I do. It was a deal. So,
but yeah, it's got to be the king snake, the top.
When does the pricing come out?
Oh, they no one knows.
Yeah, they gonna keep that shit quiet. That means that price is high.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means. Because if they were to drop a price today, they had this big event today.
Yeah,
and this was the first time we actually see it.
Mm-hmm.
And
it looks cool.
if they had a price that they were willing to say, I think they would have fucking said it.
Nah, yeah, that price is $600.
It probably is.
It's close to $600.
Is the top of the line one is going to be $600.
Yo, what if it's $800? Yo, y'all go buy that shit. You guys are crazy.
I might. There's like a 90% chance that I would.
At $800? I need to talk to Brad because Brad ain't getting this shit for free anymore through GameStop. I need to hear him say he's gonna spend $800 on a PlayStation 5.
I think that might be his line.
And he'd be like, yeah. What's on PlayStation 4 for a minute?
What launch titles are there? That would be the question. What launch titles?
I don't give a fuck what they are. There's not enough launch titles because they don't come with the $600 or $800 system. No. Oh my God, that's insane.
Rashawn says, so y'all getting the disk drive version or the digital version of the PS5 when it releases? Also, I type how I want to type. Okay, that last part I think, is in reference to Malcolm. Like you need to tell that part to Malcolm.
It ain't got nothing to do with us.
We know you type how you type. Like, we used to it now. We are fluent in Rashawn.
No periods.
I do like the fact that they have the option of a disk drive and a digital only.
Really?
Yeah. Now I hope that there's a price difference.
There's not gonna be.
If there's a price difference and the digital only release is cheaper, I'll get that because it has it's symmetrical, and my mother-in-law is calling me for some reason. It's symmetrical, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the disk drive version comes down, and then you know what the PlayStation 5 looks like? You remember the box from Batman Forever? The thing that the Riddler had that he was sticking on people's heads?
Oh, yeah.
It looks like that. It's triangular and shit. But the disk drive, when it comes down, but then there's this big hump that comes out for where the disk drive is. And I don't like that because it's not symmetrical. Like if you're going to have
So now you have to buy the digital one. I don't know why you need the disk drive at all. None of you guys go to stores anyway.
No. I'm 100% digital. So I'll just get the digital.
I have to tell you, man, and this may shock you to know this. I love being correct, and I love how you guys were so adamant. You guys are so, but I'm going to want to buy a disc. How am I going to return it? And I was like, you're not going to want to do this. The second you can start downloading games at any, like a decent speed and playing them, you're never going to do it again. And you were like, no, we're definitely going to buy it. You guys are like, I haven't bought a game in like 6 years. Yeah, of course not.
I've maybe bought 3 or 4 like disc games for my PlayStation.
I have a PlayStation 4. I bought your old one. And I've never bought a game for it. That's not true. Did I buy Spider-Man? No. I digitally bought Spider-Man too.
Digitally.
Yeah. No. Why?
Yeah.
For what? Stupid. Click, nigga. Download. Like, I bought Final Fantasy VII. I'm going to a store getting coronavirus over this shit? No.
Now the whole preload thing, like I can download it and then play it at midnight, so I don't have to stand in line at.
Oh, right. Like so like for a pre-order.
Yeah. Whatever.
Again, why would I go to a store to buy a game? Like that's crazy. It's only for people who live like in Punta Cana or whatever the fuck Andy lives, right? That has large issues with landmines.
Mexico?
Right. So, like, they're the only people who need this. No, if you live in a major city, like, there's no reason. There's absolutely no reason for you to get a non-digital version. It's silly to me.
Leonardo says, have you officially given up on the Clone Wars? Tell me now so I can drop this bit. I have not given up on the Clone Wars.
I have. I have.
You can drop the bit though. Like when I get there, you will know because I will tell you like, oh, hey, I finished the Clone Wars and then I'll talk about it. But, yeah, it'll be a while. So it'll be a while. Trey says, Trey just posted a picture of Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is going to get a like from me because I'm super excited to play that.
So this is a completely new game? Or is this like an add-on story?
So a listener to the show, Steve, said this, and I think it's probably what's going to happen. He says that he thinks that this will be a DLC standalone adventure, right? And he cited another video game franchise that did this. He cited a game called Infamous Second Son. It was this game called Infamous Second Son. It's a fine game. And then they released an adventure starring one of the side characters. It was a full game, but it wasn't as long as the original Infamous Second Son. And I think that's what's going to happen here, because I'm looking at some of the areas. It doesn't look like they're leaving Manhattan. And the name Spider-Man Miles Morales doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it's Spider-Man 2. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't seem like it's going to continue the story from where Peter Parker's story left off. I felt like if that was going to be the case, it would be called Spider-Man 2.
Right.
But so yeah, I think what he described is what's going to happen. It's going to be extended DLC, so to speak, or like an expansion. Expansion is the better term. And I'm more than fine with that. It'll be fucking awesome to play as Miles Morales, right?
Yeah, and to see him get his own story.
Yeah, to see him get his own story, because he was not a prominent factor, but he was a tertiary character in Spider-Man.
Yeah,
like you had sections where you played as him.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and so it'll be super fun, and he's got different powers than Peter Parker. So I'm curious to see how they implement like his invisibility and his electrocution and stuff like that. So
nice.
And then Khalif says, "What games are you interested in playing for the PS5 if you get it?" Spider-Man. Pretty much, there's a lot of good ones that I saw.
Yeah, the Spider-Man's the only thing I heard about.
We'll talk more about that on Dense Pixels, because Brad will inevitably have a Steve Kornacki style breakdown of this.
He's going to come into the studio, shirt and tie, ready to go.
So I think that's all the questions. That's all we have time for, because I'm fucking tired. Next up is what the fuck? My what the fuck story? An MTA worker is attacked by rats. Is coronavirus to blame? Experts say the uncharacteristic aggression in rats and the coronavirus pandemic are related, according to affiliates of Today 5 and Today's 5. An MTA worker was attacked by a pack of around 30 rats over Memorial Day weekend. Yo, oof, Jesus Christ. Where is this?
This has got to be in New York.
It has to be in New York, right?
Yeah,
it has to be.
Yeah, inspecting the R line. That's definitely New York.
Yo, Ryan Fisher has been an engineer and safety inspector for the MTA for over 10 years. Fisher reports the attack happened in the subway tunnel near 42nd and Lexington while he was inspecting the R line. He is unsure which station at the time he was closest to, but knows he was out alone inspecting the train line near the entrance. The attack happened on Saturday. He around 2 a.m. Quote, it was definitely late. I was doing a quick check before heading out. I turned the bend with my flashlight, and they saw at least 40 or 50 rats crawling around all over each other and eating some large carcass, and seeing that caught me off guard. It's kind of nice. That's a little too Boston.
Yeah. Slow. He took the R line right into to South Boston.
Nah, yo.
Yeah, I'd have flipped out.
I'd fucking screamed like a child and ran away.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No.
Aggression and rats don't need to be things.
Yeah, because there's not enough of us out there keeping them at bay. That's why.
Yeah, they think they own the joint.
Yeah, well, because they do. There are more rats in New York than there are people. So, I mean, it's like that line from Django. Like, I don't understand why the rats don't just take up arms and kill all the people. There's more of them anyway. Like, I mean, it's a good point. My story is horrible. Finally, a toilet paper that let you use poop to make art. I don't think this has a location. Let's just. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it does.
Okay, give me a little more.
If you're struggling to pass the time in this difficult period, specially printed toilet paper that lets you use the poop as paint to make art might be what the doctor ordered. Disgusting. Poop paint is a new type of toilet paper designed to make potty training fun and entertaining by allowing you to paint your poop when wiping your child's bottom. No, I feel like whoever wrote this article has never wiped up poop from a child's ass.
Yeah.
This is not a time for play, or as my daughter likes to move her legs around and I have to grab them like, yo, this is not a game. I go, this is poop.
Gotta grab them by the legs and string them up.
Yeah. like you caught a marlin. Like, just fucking sit still, please. Because I don't need this to go south. Okay? Yeah. It's already bad.
Yeah. I don't want to chase poop rolling on the floor. It's not. Fuck out of here, man.
No. Featuring a variety of printed images with dotted line sections. Oh, they're perforated. Lovely. That you're supposed to fill in with leftover poop on your toddler's bottom. The poop paint guarantees some truly special and smelly quality time with your child.
Utah. I just tried to think of the whitest place I can think of.
No, you got to think of the weirdest place. What's the weirdest country in the world that would definitely invent this?
The weirdest country? Japan?
Bingo. There you go. Of course. Good Lord. Yeah, a Japanese company launched poo paint because of course they did.
God damn it.
Yeah, everything coming out of there is bad. Like, is the PlayStation made in Japan or China?
Japan. It's a Japanese company.
Yeah, that's right, Sony, right? Yeah, so there you go. You got the PlayStation 5, and you also got people who want to play poop games. They're the same people.
Poop is not Play-Doh, guys. Like we're not playing around with it. Get the fuck out of here, man.
I hope many parents will use poop paint at home. No, look at these excited kids. They can't wait to shit all over this and make a mess.
How do you do this?
Yo, these Japanese kids clearly weren't given PlayStation 5s. This is the most exciting thing they've ever seen.
Like, do you poop and then touch it and then use it as finger paint?
Dude, I guess this is gross.
Or do you just take the easel to the bucket of paint and just paint it that way? I don't know, man.
I don't like any of this. I don't like any of this.
I want to go to Japan, yo. I
don't want to go to this part of Japan.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Browntown, Japan. I don't. These people look way too happy to play in children's feces. This is disgusting. You know, the person who brought this and he's like, yeah, bro, all this poo paint. I'd be like, you need to be locked up. You be locked up. Look at these kids. They're fucking excited about it. Kids are stupid. This is how dumb kids are, by the way. Oh, poo paint. No, not in my house. You buy me this, I'm going to fuck you up on site. I swear to God. If any of this ever gets shipped to my house, whoever it is, whoever was on that return address, I'm going to come to your house with a mask on and socially distance my foot directly in your ass. Get out of here. Stupid. Trailers this week. 7500. This is a movie starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who is a pilot dating a stewardess on his flight, and terrorists take over the plane. And the code 7500 means that they have been taken over by terrorists, and so he can't let anybody into the cockpit. Meanwhile, these hijackers are killing everybody, or trying to kill everybody, and he's trying to land the plane at the same time. So, and I guess they won't let him land the plane, or they'll kill people. So, yeah, it's a little crazy.
It is. It looks very interesting. It looks. It's only 133 minutes, which, ding, ding, ding.
That's all it needs to be.
Yeah.
Because this movie is going to be fucking intense.
Yeah, and it looks really good. I like that it looks like it's going to be shot all in the cockpit, or like the majority of it is going to be in the cockpit.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that this costs a lot of money to make. Yeah, I'm super into it. What happened to Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Right. Like, I was just going to say that, like, I can't think of something that he's been in really that has been major since Batman. What was it? What was the third movie even called?
Rises? Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Rises.
Dark Knight Rises. Like, I can't really think of a major movie that he's been in.
Yeah,
Maybe Looper was after that. I don't remember. Yeah, he kind of disappeared.
Yeah, he kind of disappeared. Was he? Apparently, he had a cameo in Knives Out.
I don't even remember him in Knives Out at all.
Me neither. He had a cameo in The Last Jedi.
He must have been a stormtrooper.
And Snowden was in 2016 was the last thing. He's got one project a year in terms of film.
That's interesting. I mean, he's a good actor, like he is. Yeah, I like seeing him, so I'm glad to see he's back. That's good. But this looks good. And look, this is an Amazon Studios original movie. They're doing the Netflix thing. Hey, did you like that trailer? Comes out next week. So this is June 19th. So it's super fast.
Yeah, I added it to my watch queue thing, whatever it's called.
Yep, I'm going to do that right now
because it looks good.
All right, there you go. Next up is the trailer for I'll Be Gone in the Dark. This is a trailer for HBO's. It's like a documentary about this woman who happens to be the wife of Patton Oswalt, the comedian. She's passed away now. She died maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I guess.
In 2016.
Okay, 2016. But she basically solved this like 1970s like series of murders, seemingly, right? Like, is like just because she was like a white woman obsessed with like podcasts? It's kind of nuts.
I think she was a writer. Patton Oswalt talked about when he first came back from his self-imposed exile to deal with the fact that his wife had died. We saw his stand-up in DC, and he maybe half the special, maybe had like half hour of it was of him telling stories about him and his wife and their daughter. And I mean, it gets you in the feels, man. Like, you tear up when you hear about how much he loved that woman. and he talked about this. And, you know, he was like, cause my wife's a genius, and, you know, she solved a fucking, you know, crime. And so she's a writer, and she was doing research, you know, in order to make her work better. And she happened to come across this case and got obsessed with this case. And I think she solve it? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, at the end of the trailer, they're like, "We found the guy."
Yeah.
So I think through her all of her shit, like I think
all her investigation.
Yeah, I think she did.
Yeah. And she died before she finished the book that she was writing based on this.
Yeah.
So they had to finish. They decided that they were going to finish the book for her and release it posthumously. But it's super interesting, man.
Yeah, it says the book was released February 27, 2018, nearly 2 years after McNamara's death, and 2 months before an arrest would be made in the case.
So, yeah, this looks really good, man.
Yeah, it's a super fascinating story.
Yeah, this looks really good, and yeah, this is what HBO needs to do for like HBO Max, right? Like,
yeah,
you need to, and that's what you need to do. At the end of it, you need to be like, hey, you can get this at HBO Max.
That's right.
To get people to drive people to that service. But
look,
yeah, it comes out at the end of the month.
There you go. Look, yeah, June 28th. Look, I'll say this in this one case, I will give them credit. This particular white woman, amazing, actually amazing. Like, yo, she solved this crime. This guy killed like 50 or like raped like 50 women and killed like 7 people. No, this is like a crazy, crazy story. And she was just like, I'm just going to solve this shit like, by herself, basically, just because she got obsessed. And clearly, like, she's pretty goddamn bright. Like, she figured this shit out, and detectives and shit couldn't figure it out.
But part of that obsession, I think, is what led to her death. Like, she just, you know, she OD'd on drugs to try and calm her down.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I think she OD'd on a few. I don't want to speak ill of this woman, but I think part of her death was due to stress of, you know, figuring this shit out.
Yeah, she apparently died of multiple drugs in her system: Adderall, Xanax, and fentanyl.
That's something that, like, you know.
I mean, if she was taking fentanyl, that's probably what killed her. I mean, that shit is fucking terrifying.
I don't know what it is about women, but women.
Yeah, accidental overdose. That's how she died.
Women have a tendency to enjoy things that would creep me right the fuck out. Like they tend to like.
All the murder podcasts, like, yo, you guys are lunatics.
Murder podcasts and you know, you turn on like the OWN network or the We channel, and it's all, you know, my husband tried to kill me, so I killed him first. And like, Jesus Christ.
Maybe that's just your wife, dog. I don't know. She was like, not today.
Hey, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of TV shows out there like that. But the fact that
isn't there one called like She Kills or something? It's just about women who murder their husbands.
It's just about women who murder dudes. Right?
that's all the show is about. Like, these guys thought they were getting away with it, but guess what? Like, okay.
Like the fact that what's that Hulu show with the red nuns?
Oh, Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah, the fact that show is as good as it is and as popular as it is largely due to women. And I'm like, yeah, my wife loves that show.
It's really good. It's fucked up.
I don't know how you can watch this and just be like, ha, this is entertaining.
Well, it's like that. I don't have a problem in watching things that are like really political or in that sort of like intensity, but that show bothers me on a level that I cannot watch like 2 episodes. My wife is like, we need to hurry up and catch up to that. I'm like, fuck. Do we have to? She's way more into it than I am.
It's the combination of everything, right? Like the corrupt politicians and the rape. Like
it's too much.
I can't.
I like the show. It's excellent, but I'm like, oof, this is hard. This is a hard watch. My wife's like, yeah, I can't wait to watch 3 episodes in a row. I'm like, what's wrong with you? But she won't watch Taken because Taken is scary. I'm like, you're a fucking lunatic. Get out of here. Can't wait to have her watch Hannibal. Can't wait.
I'd appreciate it it's very artistic.
Yeah. No, she'll be into it. She's such a chicken, but she'll be into it. All right, trailer for Bill and Ted 3 Face the Music, or Bill and Ted Face the Music. Yeah. Okay. I like the Bill and Ted movies. I like the first one more than the second one. This seems about as silly as I would expect from a Bill and Ted movie. Have you ever watched any Bill and Ted movies?
I have. Much like you, I enjoyed the first one way more than the second one. I also feel like this is just a waste of everyone's time and resources.
Yeah, this one does. It does feel that way.
I do not care. Like, I know everyone, like, people have like a weird fascination with this all of a sudden. When they mentioned a Bill and Ted 3, I couldn't think of anything less interesting. Like, I'm happy that you're happy that you get another Bill and Ted movie. But, yeah, this does nothing for me. This does absolutely nothing for me. And I will not watch it.
Here's the thing. This movie is there's a whole thing to this that people don't really realize, or some people don't realize. This is a secret movie. This movie isn't going to really be about Bill and Ted.
No, it's going to be about their daughters.
That's right. Surprise. Yeah. I hope all you fucking like closeted sexists are going to not freak out. You will, because that's what this movie is more about. It's going to be, it'll have Bill and Ted in it, of course, but it is a vehicle for the 2 girls. And that's fine, because one of them, whoever Keanu's kid is, looks just like him. It's fucking crazy. And she's from that show Atypical. She's a good actress, actually. But yeah, it's going to be a vehicle for them. And I'm fine with that. Like, I will see this on streaming. I'm not seeing this in theaters. I'm not seeing anything in theaters for a while, but I will see this on streaming.
I will see this on HBO when it comes out on HBO. Maybe.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not rushing out to see this at all. I don't know when this comes out. I don't really care. I will see it on streaming.
Yeah, I don't. I just could not care any less about a fucking Bill and Ted movie, yo.
Well, and it's funny because this feels like them doing another, Jay and Silent Bob. Like, people were excited about that. I didn't care at all because it didn't feel like it had grown with me. And that's okay. It doesn't have to. I've grown past it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's fine. Again, I'll see it on streaming. Any other final thoughts before we get out of here?
No.
All right. There you go. We will see you guys next week.
See ya.
San Dimas High School football rules.
You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.